Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Minorities Building Wealth through Franchising, brought to you by Socially Buzz. And I want you right now to relax, exhale, put your iPhone down, because I know you're going to be texting, you're going to be checking your social media. But for the next hour, we're going to talk about things that are going to change your life. If you are here for one particular reason, and if you are here to build wealth through franchising, you don't want to miss any part of what's going to happen here today. So we're going to ask for your attention, and then in return, we're going to give you valuable information that's going to help you to make decisions, get connected to the right relationships, information, opportunities, so that you can make good decisions about franchising and build wealth. First up, we have Andre Campbell, who is the franchise executive. And Andre is the founder and owner of the Franchise Executive, a franchise consulting and brokerage firm that assists others in accomplishing the following: franchise business ownership, franchise portfolio expansion, and also transforming your current business into a multi-unit franchise system. So some of you may be here because you were thinking about buying a franchise, but some of you may also give some thought to you're in business already, that franchising may be an opportunity for you to expand using OPM. Anybody know what OPM is? Other people's money. Anybody like using OPM? All right. So if you already have a successful business, this is an opportunity for you to take a look and see how you may be able to expand your business using other people's money to help you to create wealth. Prior to building his own thriving enterprise, Andre worked as a financial advisor and assistant vice president for Edward Jones and Merrill Lynch of America. He currently holds a Series 7 and 66 license and has been in the industry for over 15 years as a finance and business professional. Upon his transition to business ownership, Andre became an independent business owner spanning multiple industries, including transportation, textiles, consumer service, and construction. Additionally, he has owned 2 franchises in the insurance and construction industries. So folks, the people that we have here today, they didn't just study and get their degrees and certificates, but they've lived it, and they're going to be able to share that experience with you today. So it's my pleasure right now to turn over to Andre Campbell, the franchise executive.
Thank you, Jerome. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Jerome, for that introduction. I'm going to go ahead and... All right. So, how's everybody feeling today? Good? Good. Got all the bags and all the trinkets and all the papers. And when you get home, you're going to throw them on the table and look through them, which will take hours. And it's not going to even get you to the tip of the iceberg of what you're really looking at. Just let me let you know that. So my name is Andre Campbell. I am the founder and owner of the Franchise Executive. Like Jerome said, we're a franchise consultancy company. And I help people look at franchises and streamline the process and save the time based on them. Today I'm going to be talking about how to find the best franchise for you. Not your cousin, not your neighbor. All franchises not made the same and everybody's different, but the best franchise for you. I've owned multiple franchises as well as exited them via selling, as well as independent businesses. So it's given me a lot of clarity and knowledge to be able to help people now in this area that it can be very complex. So, why do people go into business for themselves? Let's look at that. Lifestyle. Tell you a little bit of background about me. Back in 2011, my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And one of the things that I wanted to do was, she went to Philly to go get treatment. I wanted to be able to just get up and leave the office, go when I wanted to. When I needed to pick up my son, because she couldn't take care of him, I wanted to be able to do that without telling anybody. But I had constraints there because I had worked corporate. And I wanted to control my lifestyle. That's what I wanted to do. And the reason why I went into decided to go into the franchise businesses is because it allowed me to have the lifestyle that I wanted. It also gives me freedom of income. Anybody want a freedom of income? Do you want to decide how much you make? Right? You want freedom of time, and you want freedom of time to decide when they're going to take lunch, when they're going to take vacation, right? Wealth generation was another tool that I utilized of why I decided to go into the franchise business. And furthermore, purpose and control. I wanted to have purpose and control, utilize a God-given purpose that he's given me to be able to do the things that I want to do with my income and with my time and based on my control. Now, most of my clients here, either fall into a few of those reasons or all of them. But it's a question that you have to ask before you decide on the franchise. You have to know why you're doing this, because it's not for everybody. No matter what people say when you stop by a table, might stop by a food franchise, this is for you. But the reality is, it starts with you. It doesn't start with the franchise. Got it? So, next, how to find the best franchise for you. One of the things you want to do is understand your goals and expectations first. What do you want this franchise to do for you, right? Short-term wise, the first year, what do you want that to look like? Your midterm, 2 to 5 years. How many staff do you want to have in the first year? Or no staff, depending on the franchise. 2 to 5, where do you want to be? Do you want an assistant manager? Do you want a GM? And then in the 6+ years, are you bringing in family into the business, right? You have to understand these things. Furthermore, you have to understand your exit strategy. One of the things that I did is when I got into my franchises, I sold them prior to the term being up. I had a 5-year term on one of my insurance franchises. I think I sold it into year 3.5 because I just decided I was going to go elsewhere, and then I got a good offer on it as well. So that's another thing. Don't think that you're always stuck in a contract. Franchise is not necessarily where you have to be to the contract, but however, you do have to know whether or not that franchise will allow you to leave, and if they do, is there a cost to it, right? Another exit strategy. Are you bringing in a family member to come and run it? Are you bringing in a manager and you're going to scale out and do mission work or do something else, right? And you're going to oversee it from there. So you have to understand, you have to look at the goals and expectations first, to understand how to find the best franchise for you. Are you looking at a passion? Do you have a passion for something? Or are you just solely on profit? When I work with my clients, I have a client right now in Atlanta, long-term educator. And he came to me and he said, listen, Andre, profit's not my biggest thing. I want to make money, but I want to work with children and I want to be in drama area. So what are we doing? We're looking at franchises in the drama area that work with children, right? I'm not going to stick him and talk to him about food franchises, right? Because it all starts with him, right? Or I have clients now that want to be solely profit. I have a partnership deal right now. They're looking at salon suites. There's $1 million+ deals, right? They come in, all they're looking at, listen, we don't want to run it. We don't care about passion. We just pure profit. What does the bottom line look like? We look at those areas, right? And then we have people who want to balance. They want to be in between. So you have to understand that when you're looking at franchises, you want to understand what's going to be best for you, because that's going to be where it allows you to go for the long term. One of the things we also do is a personality profile. So that profile allows us to see more about you. What do you value? I'm regarded as a high societal, meaning that I care about people overall, right? So there's some certain franchises that just won't work for me. They're highly profitable, but at the end of the day, I just won't be happy. And for me, happiness is what matters, right? So that's part of our process that we do as well. Also, when you're looking at franchises and the best franchise for you, what is your time commitment? Are you looking for a passive model, meaning you're just an investor? I'm going to dump a few $100,000 in a franchise. The franchise is going to run itself. The franchisor is going to hire a management team to do it. Or am I semi-passive? Am I going to be able to do 5 hours a week, or 15 hours max, or 20 hours max? What kind of model would be best for me? Or am I the owner-operator individual? So these are the things you also want to look at. Your capital. You have franchises from a few $1,000s up into multi-millions, right? So these are the things that you always have to keep in mind. Your funding. Funding options are available. There's some franchises that you're going to be SBA approved. There's others that are not. However, you have rollovers that you can do out of your retirement. Tax deferred and penalty free. That's a totally different topic, which funding will get on. You can use home equity, life insurance, savings. There's so many options. But these are the things that you want to consistently look at. When you get into finding the best franchise for you, also you want to look at due diligence and validation, right? What that means is asking the franchisor and the franchisees the proper questions, right? For instance, what type of support do you give? Tell me about your marketing plans. How am I going to grow this business, right? That's why you're here. You're paying a franchise fee because you want a preset system, right? And that's the key there. So how are you going to grow it? What is your retention ratio, right? Are you losing franchises over a 3 to 5 year process, or are you gaining them? And if you're gaining them, how is your support growing to maintain the amount of franchises that you're getting? Because I don't want to be in a fast franchise and then when I make a call to my coach, I can't get anybody, right? So things to keep in mind. Utilizing an unbiased team. This is key. And unbiased means both ways. The people who you're talking to, you want to ensure that they have your best interests at heart, right? On both ways. At home, sometimes we see it where you have one person that wants to go into it, another person doesn't, right? And you have to work through that. However, you don't want fear to stop you as well. So you want to make sure that the decisions you're making are unbiased. They're non-emotional, they're clear. And then you also want to work with franchisors and franchise consultants that are able to say, hey, listen, this might not be best for you, or it might not be best for you right now. And they're not afraid to do that, right? But if it is, then here's the things that you need to do to work through as you're attaining, moving towards that franchise process. Industries, you guys are here. It's a ton of industries. Franchise is not only food, cleaning, senior care, landscaping, electrical, travel, finance, internet marketing, plumbing, more. There's a plethora of opportunity. But with each one of those, it's a different dynamic of a business. The requirements are different, the staffing is different, the marketing is different. In some franchises, direct mail will still work. In others, it will not work at all, right? So you have to understand the dynamics, and that's why asking these questions to them are key. Next steps to utilizing, you want to utilize a financial professional, a franchise financial professional who is unbiased and understands the business. One of the things is we have business ownership experience. Like Hutch said, I have owned independent and I've owned franchise business. So I know the difference. And I'm biased towards franchise because starting an independent business in today's climate is extremely hard. You have 7 different marketing channels. Everybody's on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on this and this. You got to post here, do that, do that, do that. I mean, and if you're under 40, it's a tough task. Be there posting 10 times. So that's why the franchise is key. And when you're vetting them, you want to know about those marketing systems. How are we growing this? Exactly before I even get in. And you want to be client focused. There's over 3,000 franchise systems. So you want to make sure that whoever you're utilizing, hopefully a franchise consultant or broker, is reputable, can help you, usher you, and coach you through this process. Because you don't want to get stuck in analysis paralysis. Meaning you got a ton of stuff and you don't know where to go. 7 months from now or next year, you're right back here and you have not even looked at anything, right? That's where someone like myself comes in to coach you through that process. Never feel rushed, however, be decisive because you are utilizing hard-earned money. One of the things I just want to end with, why use the franchise executive? Thank you, Hutch. 2 minutes. What? Football, 2 minutes. Why use a franchise executive? Expert advice, goals and expectations. We do the personality tests. We locate the geographical openings. We coach you every step of the way, and we talk to you about what's focused on you. I have unlimited options, franchise and business ownership experience, unbiased, and I connect you with the franchise funding and the attorneys to review the documents before. And guess what? Don't tell anybody this. No cost to you. Because a franchisor, if for instance you move forward and you decide that you're going to be a part of that franchise family that I recommend, they compensate me, right? But it'll be no cost to you. There's my information there. I always say time is finite. It's not unlimited. Wealth is not our biggest resource. It is our health and our time. At the end of the day, it is our health and our time. So there's my information. I'll be here till 4 o'clock as well, all day. If you have any questions, we'll be here, and I want to thank you for your time, all right?
Andre, can you hear okay? Okay, good deal. There was a couple of housekeeping things. Normally, for the past few times we've done this, we've had like an hour to get set up, get settled in. Today we had about 10 minutes, so we were rushing to get started to make sure we could get on time. But there was a couple of things that I failed to do, such as introduce myself. So my name is Jerome Hutchinson Jr. I am the founder and chief serving officer for the ICABA World Network. For those of you who may not be familiar with ICABA, You can see it up on the screen. And a little bit about who we are, and then we're going to get right back to our next speaker. But ICABA is an online ecosystem designed to assist Black professionals and entrepreneurs to grow, succeed, and prosper in your career and or businesses. And so we've had over 300 events. We've been working with Andre on this particular franchising opportunity. Also with Andre, we have a Blacks in Franchising Mastermind group in our community. So everything that you are hearing about today, you'll be able to extend, if you will, through our Blacks in Franchising group. You'll get an invitation to that via email from us next week. And so we invite you to be a part of what's going on. And you can see a lot more about what we're doing. But I wanted to also tell you that we are going to have a Q&A session. So as soon as we go through all of the 4 panelists, we're going to stop for the Q&A. So thank you for your patience there while I just took a second to introduce myself.
And Hutch, quickly, I also want to mention, I'm part of this session, but I want to do something as well.
Okay.
So the reason why we put on this session, just so you guys understand, is to provide the knowledge and the resources to minorities to understand what we're doing. So I said it earlier. So everything we're doing and what you're going to learn today is very important. So Andre, at the end, you just heard from, the idea, the takeaway from him is to literally understand how you can get started, right? The resources you're going to need to get started. If you're looking to get into a specific franchise, he's going to provide the resources for you. The beautiful Carolyn right here as well, when she goes up next, her goal is, I own a franchise, right? If you already have a business, then this is how you get into that. This is how you can franchise your own business. Or these are all the things you need to know or learn to get into that space, right? My guy Brian right here, he's the money man. He's gonna say, this is how you're gonna get the money, right? And myself, you're gonna learn a little bit more of me, the marketing. You got the franchise, you know you want to get, you got the funding, now we're going to tell you how to market it, right? So that's what's in store for you guys today. So as Hutch says, there's a lot to learn, clutter of knowledge, so stay tuned.
Well, I tell you what, Charles Smart, raise your hand. So I'm doing this for a purpose, guys, because one of the things that we talk about a lot is how do we collaborate and work together? Charles, and I have known each other for a long time, and Charles was in Africa creating some business, and he was home and came and he brought Andre to my house. And he said, look, I want you to put your arm around Andre, and I want you to connect him to all the people that you connected to and make sure that he succeeds. And so that was maybe about 8-9 years ago, okay? And Andre was, just from a business standpoint, he was right here with a whole lot of promise. Now he's blown up, he's big time. I've been all over the country with him, to New York, with these franchise expos. Social Media is one of the top, Socially Buzz is one of the top marketing agencies in the country. And so just as I was about to, tell you why the rest of these people up here, that's how far he's gone. I can't even now, do my thing because he's jumped ahead of me. But that's what we're supposed to do, folks. I want to encourage you that whatever you learn today, whoever you meet today, share, okay? Because we've got to build a community of Black professionals and entrepreneurs who are working together. We've got to connect, collaborate, and build community. I talked to a sister out here earlier today, Vivian. She has a company called Flourish Media. There is a billionaire oil tycoon in Nigeria who has a company called Flourish Media. And so I told her I was going to connect her to that. I mean, we've got to be intentional about that, folks. All right, off the soapbox. Now let me introduce our next panelist. Carolyn Thurston, she is with Wisdom Senior Care, and she is the founder and CEO of Wisdom Senior Care. She brings over 20 years of providing healthcare strategies, improving patient quality, managing operational performance and growth, leading changes in the industry, and successfully facilitating healthcare initiatives. She has been an active industry spokesperson in the healthcare community and has been nationally recognized for her expertise in the field and for her positive impact in leading the industry with several recognitions. She now serves on the International Franchise Association Board of Directors and has recently been elected as Vice Chair of the Black Franchise Leadership Council. And I want to say to her husband, Charles Thurston, who's in the back doing the video, every great woman has a great brother behind them, all right? Carolyn Thurston.
Can you hear me? Yes, thank you. Thank you for that great introduction, and I will say that that is a true statement. None of this could have been done without having a great support system. But I am Carolyn Thurston. I'm excited to be here and share with you from a franchisor perspective, and I'm really excited to be able to state that. As you see the picture here, I never started out, my dream was not to be a franchisor. I just wanted to be in a business. I just wanted to help people. I knew I had a passion. So a lot of you that are here, maybe you're just now thinking about, hey, I've got a business, I want to take it to the next level. My story, I started off wanting to be a nurse, and I went through nursing school, and then I always had, from this age, the vision to be an entrepreneur. So never forget that seed that was planted inside of you to always, you might get distracted. I went through nursing school, I did all these different things, but that desire to be an entrepreneur never went anywhere. So finally, I stepped out in 2005 and opened up Wisdom Senior Care. I operated Wisdom Senior Care from scratch from 2006 to 2012, about to get burned out. And then franchising was introduced to me. So in 2017, we started to look at how could we take this successful system that we had built, and we're helping other people do it, but just not in a franchising system. How could we help them be able to do that? And franchising was opened up to us. So from a perspective of franchising, let me move forward here. Hope I didn't cut it off. I think I did, didn't I? Okay. So the first thing that you have to think about, I had a good system, so I thought, right? Because we were in one area, we were creating over $1 million business, and I was helping in the state of North Carolina over 350 other business owners be able to start their own systems. So the first thing I had to look at, can you still hear me? Yeah. The first thing I had to look at is how do I go about doing this? So capital, because it takes money, right? It takes money to build a business from scratch. But even when you're going to go to being a franchisor, you've got to look at capital, because you're going to have to develop a whole system. And that's what we're going to share with you. On that system, you need to start off with a legal aspect, because now it's not just you now that you're working with, or your clients, as mine was with the home care business. And let me just say, Wisdom Senior Care, we help keep wisdom at home. That's our goal, help keep them at home, keep them happy at home. So now we need a legal team to make sure that we have all the right elements to bring in a franchising system. The next thing you need is sources of funding. So if I find some franchisees and they want to join our community, who can I connect them to help them be able to find the right funding, okay? So that was some areas that you have to work on. The next thing is we have to look at a system. I had a system, but most people say if you've only done it one place, you have to have a proven system. Can you help some other people besides your own self be able to be successful? As a franchisor, and some of you who are franchisees, you're asking questions like, what will it take? How many units do you actually have? So that why needs to be there, right? As a franchisor, you know, not everything is going to be rosy. You have to decide, what is your target market? What do you want to go out after? Quality was what was my number one goal. It's not the quantity. So I want franchisees who align with my core values. So you as a potential franchisor, you need to be sure within yourself, what are your core values? And no matter who's coming up, if they don't, they could have the money. But if they don't align with the core values, then they won't be a good fit for our model. The next thing is you as a franchisor have to develop a business model. Okay, so now it takes, what is that model going to look like? You know, we have people up here that are going to talk to you about the training, about marketing, about technology. I mean, now everything is going through technology. So you have to have people on board who can help you in that aspect. One thing that I have learned is that I'm not the smartest person on our team. But you know what? I know how to surround myself with some very smart people. So you might see myself out here, you see Charles, but we have a whole system of people. We have people who deal with the technology. We have people who deal with the marketing pieces of. We have people who help us with the vetting out of our franchisees. We have, you talked about the testing. We have a way that we're able to ensure we know how you would, your mode of operation. So these are some key areas for you to think about if you're looking at developing your own franchising system. That support system, you need to be able to support your franchisees. And because I'm a nurse, I have a giving heart, and my team members will tell you they have to pull me back because I want to see everybody be successful. But as a franchisor, it's your franchisee's business. They are independently owned and operated. I may want them to make $1 million, but you know what? They may be okay with only 500, and I need to be okay with that. And you as a franchisor, just because it's your system, you still need to know what that franchisee actually wants. So getting a support system together, what helped me be able to move into the franchising space was getting professional coaching.
And we've been around since 1962, 1969, as a result of the Robert Kennedy era, and this is one of the last initiatives that he did created before he was assassinated. Folks have gone through our training, and then 259 million, and that was as of last year, 259 million in small business loans, and we've had over 1,000 clients that we've been working with through. I am the Florida Relationship Manager. I also have at Georgia as well. So what we do, we help you grow your business. We do funding. We are SBA lender. We can go up to $6 million in your financing to get your franchise off the ground. We work with a lot of franchisors and working with them to help you get financing for your business to grow your franchise. Machinery, equipment, real estate acquisitions, build out, improvements, inventory, operating expenses, debt refinancing, and also, I love the favorite word, working capital. Basically, we're somewhere between 3 to 4.5% in our financing. We keep it low. Our terms are 4% closing costs. So let's say you apply for it and you got 100,000, you'll walk out of there with 96,000. And what we're doing with the great thing with franchises is that if you're a new franchisee, you're a startup. But we're going to look at the franchisor's financials and their book of business and show the proven method. It's just not projections, but this franchise is performing, blowing up. And so we use those numbers, we use those financials to help you build your business, to help, and that's one of the things we do with the franchisors, to help them get financing through you. And we help source capital, so if we can't do it, I'll find some other sources to help you get through it. Not only that, once we loan you the money, we continue to work with you. So we've got a couple of programs here. We've got SOAR, it's the Southern Opportunity Resiliency Fund. That's a maximum 100,000. I can get you that in about 7 to 10 days, 3 to 5 to 4.5% interest. We're looking at 2019, 2020, 2021 tax returns. It's working capital. There's no collateral. And just anyone partners with 20% or more interest in the business have to personally guarantee the loan as well. Minimum score is 620. And we take you through a process. And actually, we're one of the few lenders where you can contact, I put you in contact with the underwriter so we can have a conversation and understand that. Typically in lending, the borrower never sees the underwriter. He or she is under some desk in Iowa making decisions on what's going on in your area. So we want to be a relationship because we don't want to just loan you one loan. We want to continue to work with you so you can pay that loan back. And now we're going to go get that $1 million for Andre. Self is one we have for those folks that need to build out. It's for for construction costs. If you have any properties, or if you want to build out your area in your retail space for your franchise, we want to be able to help you do that as well. Now, what we're working on right now, do I have any franchisors in here? We've got a couple franchisors. We've got some folks that we're working with to help the franchisor to be able to get them $3-4 million in capital so they can help you, loan you the money as well. So we're working with that to help grow that. Like I said, the terms are $100,000, 5 to 6 years to pay it back on the SOAR loan, and you go interest only for the first year. Now, once we loan you the funds, I'm going to get in your business. I'm going to help you grow it. I'm going to get with Andre. We're going to look at your numbers. We're going to help drive business to your company so that you can be successful. So it's just not loaning you money. It's just helping you grow your business and helping you with your succession planning, your strategy overall. He said he sold his business and cashed out. I talked to another guy over here. He sold his business and cashed out, and now he owns an island in Bahamas. So this is for the contractor. So if you've got a contractor that needs funding to get through the business, to get what you need to do for your build out, we can loan them funds, and we can also loan you the funds as well. Same amount, the $100,000, 4% fixed rate. There's no pre-penalty, and it's a 60-month deal. This right here, this was the very first franchise that we funded. It's a tropical smoothie over here in where Walmart is on Broward Boulevard, West Broward Boulevard, right there next to my favorite spot, Krispy Kreme. So these are the smoothie girls, and they came to us, and they were looking for a loan, and so through the Urban League, through National Development Council, we came together and put that funding together. And let me tell you something, that is one of the fastest growing franchises out here today at a low cost, and we got them in, and they are just booming. So that's the evidence of the success that we've done. And if you haven't had a smoothie over there, just go over there by the Walmart and next to Krispy Kreme and get your tropical smoothie. The extra protein shake with the banana and strawberries is my favorite. That's me, Brian Cunningham, National Development Council. My contact information, and I look forward to working with you in any type of way as it relates to your financing to help you grow your business. Thanks a lot, Hutch.
Okay. There we go. Thanks a lot, Brian. And, Brian tells a story about being able to connect with Andre and get the funding. Again, guys, relationships. There's nobody in here that would probably tell me that relationships are not important to what you do. But I suspect there's not many of you that could tell me what your relationship development plan is. And if you are not intentional and purposeful about building your network, then you are not going to be as successful building your net worth. Okay, say that one more time. Your network is essential to building your net worth. Do you know what rich people do? They do two things all the time. They look for other rich people and how to avoid taxes. Okay? You talk to rich people for a while. And if there's two things that they'll talk about more than anything else, is how they connect with other rich people so they get richer. As George Bush said one time, we are the have-mores, okay? And how to avoid paying taxes. So if you want to emulate something, find some other people that you can grow with or that can help you grow, and then figure out how to avoid paying taxes. Okay. All right, our next speaker is the man who put all this together. He's been doing this for about 5 years now. And from here to Chicago to Vegas and New York, all over the place. And so I'm proud. He's kind of like a little brother to me. And watching his growth, and he allows me to serve on his advisory board. If you haven't, looked at the metaverse, what's your booth number?
250252.
I know you were going to tell him, but I just wanted to do what you did to me. All right, so Andre K is the CEO of Socially Buzz. He's the founder and CEO, Social Media Reputation Management and Advertising Agency. Under his leadership, Socially Buzz was named one of the best entrepreneurial companies in America by Entrepreneur Magazine. As an entrepreneur, Andre has been recognized for excellence in achieving business growth through innovation within the digital marketing industry. He's committed to building a company that provides its employees an opportunity to thrive both professionally and personally while fostering their well-being both inside and outside of work. Socially Buzz provides managed services and technology automation to help businesses grow using social media, data, and advertising. They combine the perfect synergy of high-touch, people-powered social media management services and technology to help companies succeed in this ever-changing social media industry. Andre is an African-American and long successful woman. He's an African-American and Jamaican-American. Because I know we can't leave the Jamaican part out. So, but he's a lifelong social marketing entrepreneur who's been very successful. He bootstrapped Socially Buzz from a small do-it-yourself social media company to a nationally recognized social media agency and software company, and he has grown the company from nothing to over $20 million with no outside investments, except for maybe that money we got from Brian. Brian's getting paid back, so we're good. He successfully has worked with brands such as Domino's, Jamba Juice, TGI Fridays, Papa John's, Golden Crust, PJ's Coffee, and many, many others, leading campaigns that have generated millions of dollars in sales. He is the first person who, since his inception, he is the first one to be the co-founder of one of the first black-owned social media agencies in Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Andre K.
Thank you, Hutch. And that was a very long bio, right? No worries. Once again, appreciate everyone coming out here for this segment. Once again, the goal is for us when we do this is to provide the resources, to give you guys the knowledge, to give you guys information, and to hear it from experts, right? And one of the things I'm going to talk about is now that you went through, and I skipped through the bio part, so now that you went through, I know what type of franchise I want to get, right? Whether it's a smoothie shop, whether it's Wisdom Healthcare. Now you figure out what you want to do. You got the money from Brian, you start this business up. Now you're saying, okay, that's not it. Getting the business, getting the funding, open up your business, it doesn't stop there. It's where do I go next? How do I get these customers in so I could pay back my loan, so I could hire people and so on? And this is where marketing comes in. This is the one thing that's designed to drive you new customers, marketing. So if you're not doing marketing, then you're in trouble, right? And when it comes to marketing, there's a whole different types of marketing. You have digital, you have traditional. Today we're going to focus on the digital piece of it, right? Because there's a lot to talk about. So whether it's social media, influencers.
One of the things we'll do real quickly to try to speed us up a little bit, get some questions in. Pay attention to this number, 954-551-5614. Text me your questions. So I'm just kind of, I get the questions, I can go through them while he's talking. 954-551-5614, and forgive the interruption.
Right? So there's a whole different types of marketing we could talk about. We'll focus on digital right now. Right? So when it comes to branding, and that's what's a great thing about having a franchise, right? They already spent the money to do all the branding, right? So you don't have to go and say, you know what, I'm going to spend thousands of dollars trying to brand my company for people to know who I am. With a franchise, it's built-in branding. So that's the great thing about franchising. Someone sees the M anywhere, they know it's a McDonald's, right? So it's the branding part of your marketing very important because you want people to quickly see what it is and know how to get there. Our kids, right? My wife is over there looking at me. But our kids, driving past any fast food store or what the case may be, they just see the logo and they know exactly what it is, right? That's branding. They spend millions of dollars doing that already, right? So imagine you doing it for yourself, right? It's important, you could do it, of course, but it's being able to understand that branding is important to what you're doing, and also being authentic in what you do when you build your brand. Being authentic to who you are and who you're serving, right? You're not going to serve everyone. So understanding who your audience is and cater to them authentically, right? And being consistent. Anything you do, especially with marketing, you have to be consistent. You can't put something out in a day and be like, no one walked through my doors. What happened, right? Whatever you're doing, be very consistent in your marketing. That's the difference between being successful and not being successful with marketing, is about being consistent in what you're doing, right? And also being transparent with your marketing. You might fool your customer once or twice, but you're not going to fool them forever, right? I had the best burger on the block. Yeah, they're going to try it one time, but if it's not the best burger on the block, you're never going to see them again, and they're not going to tell their friends about you, right? So being transparent there. And if you don't leave here with anything else from me today, right? This is the one slide. Everything else is technical. I'm going to go through that. This thing, understanding people and having the right people with you. Hutch said it, Andre said it, Caroline said it, Brian said it, right? Having the right relationships, understanding people, not just from the core part of relationship, but also from your customers, right? So understand who your customers are. When you understand who your customers are, you know how to serve them, you know how to reach them, you know how to connect with them, right? Understanding your employees, right? Your employees are the ones serving your customers. So when you do all these marketing and you're driving people to your doors, if your employees are not serving your customers right, they're not coming back as well, right? So even though I'm talking about marketing from a high level, I also want to go down and say, these things impact what you do, right? So when we're running campaigns for clients and they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing, we're also saying making sure the employees know what we're doing. Make sure your employees treat your customers in store like how we treat them online, right? So understanding that your partners, right? A big part of your marketing, who is your marketing partners? Who are you connecting with to market? Very important and believing in those people. Your vendors, right? Who are your vendors? The relationship that you have with your vendors. And even from this standpoint, vendors, especially when COVID happened, right? If you had really good vendors, you could easily say to them, you know what? I can't fund right now to buy this thing, but can you give me some of this thing on half price or whatever the case may be? So having good relationship with people is very core, right? And that goes back down to your marketing piece of it. So even with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of these platforms, understand where your customers live, understand what they like, understand what they eat, understand what they drive, understand what they read, because with that, you're easily able to connect with your customers, right? And everyone's going to probably understand what I'm saying now. You guys ever go on a website before, and then you jump off the website, and you be like, hold on, you look on your social media feed, and it's the same thing following you around, right? Or you might be talking by your phone, and you might say, hold on, I didn't say, how does this thing know that I'm talking about this thing, right? It could be one, it could be listening, I don't know. But two, I tell you from a marketing standpoint, I can literally target people down to the core. I can say, I want to target everyone that's in 33323 zip code, that's married, that has kids that goes to preschool, that likes Starbucks, that literally, so when you see an ad that pertains to you, you're like, how do they know about me? It's because we could target that deep, right, with your marketing. But to do that, you have to understand your people. You have to understand your audience, right? And also understand about telling story about the business. Understanding literally, how am I going to share my story of my brand with my clients? And then being able to develop the right piece of content for your marketing, right? So whether that's photos, videos, stories, whatever that thing is, and there's no one size fit all when it comes to content, right? Do what's worked best for your business. There's a bunch of people that's going to tell you this thing works great, this thing is the best, but really understand what works for your business. What are your customers engaging with? You post a photo, you post a video, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute. You post stories and look at the data. Which one of these things are actually driving me new customers? And pay attention to that, right? So really utilize, when you're developing content, don't just develop content from what you hear from people, develop content on what works for your business. Look at the data. And the reason I'm going a little bit fast, I know we got some time and we're going to run through the time. But as when it comes to even advertising and marketing, there's a lot of different things to look at, even from the paid standpoint, whether it's social media ads, whether you're doing influencer marketing, you're doing retargeting, right? So a quick scenario and how all of this could work. So the first thing I would do if you have the business is I'll put the pixel targeting on your website, right? Or wherever you're going to drive customers to. And that's that's an invisible code that tracks what people are doing on your site, right? You can get it from Google, you can get it from Facebook, install it for free, right? So now you're running your business, you're driving people to your website, and think about this with marketing, right? So when someone see your business, let's for instance like a smoothie shop, right? If someone see this business, what's the first thing you're gonna look at when it comes to a smoothie or food or whatnot? The menu, right? So why would you send them to your homepage first? Run the ad campaign, send them to the menu, right? Because I see the food, I want to go know what's on your menu. I don't care about anything else, right? So I go to the menu. Then when I go to the menu, for some reason I might not end up buying instantly. I forgot I wasn't hungry at that time. So now you run a retargeting ad campaign a few days after to say, hey, if you come to the store within the next 7 days, you get 15% off. Now I'm saying, oh yeah, I was looking at that menu, I'm gonna go check them out now. So that's how you'll be able to convert those customers. And that's for an example, right? And I'll keep going. And just like with anything else, making sure that you're measuring whatever you're doing. So anything you're doing, make sure you're measuring it, make sure you're analyzing the content, the copy, the photo, the video, the messaging, the targeting. Analyze the data. It makes no sense spending all this money in advertising and not actually looking at what's working. Because once you know what's working, you can now optimize it to do better. Right? And then with the future of anything else is what's next, right? Some of the best marketers or the best companies or biggest brands, they always focus on innovation. So as a brand, and even whatever franchisee the guys decide to work with, is what are they doing when it comes to innovation, right? Are they looking at what's next? And that's why even with Socially Buzz, for us, I decided to myself, what is going to be the next way we connect as humans, and what's going to be this next thing, and how I could help my customers. And that's why we started the next company called Metaya Block, which is strictly focusing on bringing businesses in the metaverse, right? So understanding innovation, understanding how you adapt technology into your business is going to be a huge deal. And once again, if you guys want to check out my Tire Block or Socially Buzz, we're at 250 and 252. Thank you.
Answer a couple of. Am I coming through? Okay, there we go. So one of the first questions we got was, how much personal money should one be prepared to invest as a beginner into the franchise world? I'm gonna give this question to Andre. You got 20 seconds.
So in order for personal capital, it all depends. I have lenders that have 100% term loan options. You can do an SBA loan with about 12% out of pocket. You do need about $50,000 in post liquidity, which can be in a retirement account, etc. So between SBA, 100% term loan options, or doing a rollover out of your retirement fund, which is debt free because it's already your money. I mean, it could be as little as zero and all the way up, but there's quite a few options we can discuss.
One thing I also remind you too is that when you're going into business, typically when you're going to a franchise, if you're doing it full time, you're not getting a paycheck anymore from the place where you've been working. So you need to calculate the loss of that paycheck and how you're going to recover that income. So that needs to go into your calculation of how much money that you need. Somebody also asked the question, is everything that we're talking about only for people in franchising? Absolutely not. You know, I think Brian would love to, he'll loan you some money no matter what kind of business you're in, as long as it's legal, right, Brian? Okay, and so Andre can help you from a marketing standpoint. And, join ICABA, go to the ICABA World Network.com, and we can help you with a whole host of different business that you need to get connected to and professionals that can help you with your business. The question was also, what age is good to dip into the franchise world? I'm going to take this right now. The age where you feel like you're prepared, because you might be 60 years old and you're not even mature enough to think about it, or you may be 20 years old and you're ready. You got your money, you got your plan, you got your purpose, you've scoped out. I think it's more about how prepared you are versus the age, if you will. Anybody want to, is that okay? Okay. Carolyn, the question was, what kind of coaching helped you, and what type of coaching you got?
Yeah, so with the coaching, it's business coaching, and really looking at when you're doing business, it also has a lot to do with you as the owner. So personal development is in that as well, and make sure you're ready for it, because coaching isn't like it's easy, right? And you really have to be at a point that you're willing to be submissive and make the necessary changes.
if you don't like criticism, then you might want to take a few days to get ready for coaching. Andre, the question is, what is a good personality test for somebody who's going to be a prospective franchisee that you're talking to?
I use the spot on profile, so it tells me a lot of focus on values, what they hold as highest. Like I mentioned, I'm a high societal, so the best businesses are there. We have achievers where people are just results driven. It talks about culture, collaboration, what type of culture and collaboration you like, similar to what Carolyn was talking about. Then you can align that with the type of franchise that's going to be best for you.
There's also some that might also help you for just in terms of your own development and also who you can work best with. It's called DISC, D-I-S-C, is a very good one. And one of the oldest ones, oh geez, that's all right. Just use DISC. I was trying to think of one that been around for a long time, but DISC will really help you with just kind of determine your style and how you work with other people. But I think, what was the name of the one you said, Andre, again?
Spot on profiles, spot on profiles.
Okay, spot on profiles is the one that Andre recommends for franchising. So I answered the question about today on franchising. Is there somebody right behind us? No. Okay. Until we get kicked out, I'll ask. We'll take a few more questions from the floor. Anybody have a question that you want to ask? We answered all your questions. You did a great job. Give us a round of applause then. Thank you.
Awesome. You got a question back there.
Okay, you got a person back there? I'm gonna come back there to you. How about that? So thank you for wading into the deep waters of questions and answers in front of all these people.
So my question is, if you're trying to be a franchisor to somebody who started their business a few years ago and they're, having an opportunity, they're advertising to say, hey, we want to franchise this out, but they're the only location. What are things to look for to know, okay, this is a good one to invest in, right? Like you're pulled in a lot of different ways, but how do you know that this is a good investment?
Evaluating a location for a franchise. What are the things that you should do?
Yeah.
And this is our last question. We got to go. We got 2:45 coming.
Okay, if I can take that one, I think that you have to look at your core values and really look at if that aligns with what you're looking for. Talk to some of the people, get in there, see if they'll let you see how the operation is running, and that will tell you a lot, okay? So don't be fooled by the number of locations, because it can be really a great place for you to grow if it aligns with your core values.
Okay, we got 2:45, so we want to get out of here because I know they want to come in and get set up. Thank you for being here. Be sure to check out Socially Buzz and the Franchise Executive Wisdom, Senior Healthcare, and also National Development Corporation. They get their council.